The first time my mother-in-law told my son he just needed to eat more fiber, I froze. But here's exactly what I said that actually changed the conversation. Hi, I'm Kate, and today we're talking about how to explain Crohn's to family members who don't understand. Now this matters because the people who love you the most can accidentally become your biggest source of stress when they don't get what you're dealing with. I've been on both sides of this. As a natural therapist, I've watched clients crumble after family dinners where relatives questioned their food choices or suggested they were being too dramatic. And as a mum, I've had to navigate grandparents who thought my son was being fussy, aunts who said he looked fine, family members who genuinely believed that if he just ate cleaner or thought more positively, he'd be okay. These are people who love him, but their lack of understanding was making everything harder. The worst part, I didn't know what to say. I'd either over-explain until their eyes glazed over, or I'd get defensive, and just shut down the conversation. Neither worked. So I had to figure out scripts that actually changed minds without starting family wars. Here's what most people get wrong when trying to explain Crohn's to family. They either get too medical, talking about inflammation markers and immune responses, or they get too emotional, hoping people will just understand through empathy alone. Neither approach works, because you're asking people to grasp something they've never experienced. Try this instead. Your family doesn't need a biology lesson. They need context they can relate to, clear boundaries they can respect, and one thing that they can actually do to help. That's it. When I stopped trying to make my mother-in-law understand the gut microbiome and started giving her language she could connect to, everything shifted. And when my clients started using these same scripts, they told me family gatherings went from dreaded to manageable, to maybe even enjoyable. So let me give you the exact phrases that work. Scenario 1. When they minimize symptoms, oh, but you look fine. This is the most common one. Someone says, you look great. You must be feeling better. Well, here's the script that works. I appreciate that. Crohn's is invisible most of the time, which actually makes it harder. I might look okay, but my body's dealing with things you can't see. Think of it like if you had a migraine, you'd look fine to me, but you'd be in real pain. That's what this is like, except it's happening in my digestive system. Now this works because you're not lecturing. You're giving them a comparison they can understand. Everyone knows someone with migraines. They get that. Invisible doesn't mean imaginary. Then you add the boundary. So when I say I need to rest or skip something, it's because I'm managing symptoms you can't see. I just need you to trust me on that. The last line is key. You're telling them what you need without apologizing. Scenario 2. When they push food, just one bite won't hurt you. This one nearly broke me at Christmas. My son was in a flare and a relative kept insisting he try the roast potatoes. Here's what I said and what I now teach clients to say. I know it seems like one bite wouldn't matter, but with Crohn's, certain foods can trigger days of pain and symptoms. It's not about willpower or being picky. His body literally can't process some foods right now without causing damage. Imagine if you were allergic to something. You wouldn't risk it, right? Well, this is similar. Then the redirect. What would actually help is if you didn't comment on what's on his plate. He's managing this with his medical team, and the best support you can give is letting him eat what works for his body without questions. Now this works because you're comparing it to an allergy, which people respect. Then you're giving them the one thing they can do, which is to stay quiet about food. That's actionable. Scenario 3, when they suggest alternative solutions. Have you tried, this one, have you tried yoga, cutting out gluten, drinking more water? Oh my gosh, the list is endless. I get it, they're trying to help, but it is exhausting. So here's the script. I know you're trying to help, and I appreciate that you care. We're working with a medical team, and we've got a plan in place. Crohn's is complex. It's not something that gets fixed with just one change. What I need from you from now isn't advice. What I need is for you to trust that we're doing everything we can and to be just here for us without trying to solve it. Then, if there's someone you want to bring closer, if you really want to help, ask me how I'm doing or offer to sit with me when things are hard. That means more than any suggestions ever could. Now this works because you're acknowledging their intention, setting the boundary, and giving them a way to help that doesn't involve fixing you. Most people genuinely want to be useful. You're just redirecting what useful looks like. Now scenario 4, when they compare it to their own digestive issues. I get bloated too. That's one's tricky because they think they're relating. So here's how to handle it. I hear you, and digestive stuff is uncomfortable for everyone. The difference with Crohn's is that it's an autoimmune disease. My immune system is attacking my digestive tract, which causes damage that doesn't heal on its own. It's not just discomfort. It's inflammation that can lead to serious complications if it's not managed. So while I totally get that you have your own challenges, this is a different level. Now this works because you're not dismissing their experiences. You're just drawing a clear line, and you're using the word autoimmune because most people understand that that's serious, even if they don't know exactly what it means. Now the follow-up for all of these scenarios. After you've used any of these scripts, give people space. Don't over-explain, don't justify, just let it land. Some people will get it immediately. Some will need to hear it a few times, and some, honestly, won't ever fully understand, but they'll learn to respect the boundary because you've been clear and calm. You're not asking for permission, you're informing them of reality. And here's something I learned with my own family. The people who love you will adjust. It might take time, but they will. Guess what? The ones that complained the most or asked the most ridiculous questions or gave the silliest advice, well, they're now the biggest advocates. But it took consistent, calm boundary setting to get there. So where does this leave you? When you have these scripts ready, family gatherings stop feeling like a minefield. You're not walking in hoping people will just magically understand. You've got language that works. You'll still have hard conversations, but you'll have them from a place of clarity instead of defensiveness. And over time, the people who matter will start to get it. They'll stop offering advice, they'll stop minimizing, they'll start asking, what do you need, instead of telling you what to do. That's what happened in my family. That's what I've seen happen with my clients. It doesn't happen overnight, but it does happen. So if this helps, share it with someone who needs these exact words. And if you want more support navigating Crohn's, not just with family, but with everything, I work with people one-on-one, and we have an incredible community in the Crohn's Method where you're not figuring this out alone. I'll see you in the next video, and have a beautiful day.